When we put God and family first, we go to Illinois,
Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas.
We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line, 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana, North Carolina, and South Carolina,
Ohio, and Arkansas.
Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Rawsome, someone has been putting prices in the red zone.
Looks like blitz and scramble are up to their old tricks. More force. Right.
At MitchellNissan.com, you can juke all the waiting games and pick the model, trim, and accessories you want from anywhere.
And you'll score extra points with our Customer Advantage package at no extra charge. That powers you to more savings.
Now that's what I call zone coverage. MitchellNissan.com. More, it's what we do.
Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating a big 6th anniversary with $6 over invoice. During Ram Power Days, all new Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500s are only $6 over invoice, and you keep the rebates. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Hey Bill, did you stream that finale last night?
Oh yeah.
No spoilers!
Oh, they're vicious.
Customer inspired. That's C-Spire.
Premier Chrysler.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's Coaches Show. Our first coach tonight is Charles Henderson High School, Quinn Hambright. Coach Hambright, we welcome you to the show tonight.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir.
I know it was a tough loss this past Friday night, but if you will, talk a little bit about it and let us know what. Just tell us what your thoughts and feelings were about the game.
I played. I felt like I played the game. For the amount of energy I exerted that night. But I feel like we had total control of the game for the most part for 3 quarters. We did what we wanted to do on offense. Defensively, we held the quarterback out of the end zone, for the most part. He ran around a little bit, got a lot of yards. But, ultimately, I tell my guys all the time, control the controllables. Certain things didn't go our way in the 4th quarter, and we have to adjust to it accordingly.
Right.
We didn't adjust to it like we should have mentally, and and they played hard. They tried their best to finish the game, but close to the end, it just wasn't enough, for them to finish. And a lot of external factors that cause whether it's us, whether it's plays on the field or whatever the case may be. But ultimately, we lost the game, and kudos to Carroll for coming back for the win.
Well, and Carroll did play a great game, and in a close game like that, it takes just a few miscues on one side or the other to help the other opponent. And with 2 good opponents like you and Carroll, now you're 1-2 overall now, 1-1 in the area, and you have a non-region game coming up this week against Beauregard, and a pretty good Beauregard team because they're 3-1. And 1-1 in their region, which they're also 5A.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that you could see them down the road again.
Definitely.
In the playoffs and everything. Can you give us some highlights about the offense? Were there any key players or any plays that you'd like to comment about tonight?
Yeah. Zach Coleman. He rushed for over 200 yards. I think he had over 250 all-purpose yards. I think maybe 270 all-purpose yards offensively. He's coming along and becoming the back that we thought that he would be in the last few years.
Right.
He's a kid. He's 225 pounds. He squats 530, benches bench 300 pounds on the dot. So hang cleans over 250. So he's a big, solid athlete. He qualified for state championship in triple jump. To be a big kid like that, to have that much explosiveness and power, to see it on the football field, makes me happy.
That's right.
And shout out to Cedric Brown as well. For the first half, he had to play O-line for the first 2 quarters, and he's one of our starting H's tight ends.
Right.
So he played O-line. He was number 50 for the first half of the game, and we changed his number when we got our O-line back, and he ended up playing tight end for us in the second half. So for him to show that type of unselfishness as a player, to know that he wants the ball, but to know that he has to play O-line for the team in the first half, and those are the guys that you really don't see.
That's
and
right.
The people don't know that take sacrifices for the team. So I really want to shout out him, for making that sacrifice for us. And while he played O-line, we scored 21 points. So
wow.
He not too shabby for a kid that plays tight end. So of course Parker's going to play well. Jawan's going to play well. A few calls. He had a touchdown that got called back for a hold, but those guys are always going to do their job. So.
Right. Well, that isn't good to have a player that is not selfish and shows team comes first, and that's very important, because individuals don't win games, teams win games.
Exactly.
And so, what about defensively? Do you have anybody defensively that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, Zion Grady. He's a kid that everybody knows, but he played a heck of a ball game. He had 1 face mask penalty, but I'm not going to say he was playing high, but the quarterback was so elusive,
right,
that he ducks under tackles, and when you're reaching and you're trying to grab his stomach and he ducks under it and you end up grabbing his face mask, it's that type of deal.
You're right.
I think he had a couple of sacks. He was in the backfield a lot. Jalen Suther was in the backfield a lot. Jawan Boyd had a pick 6 to end the second quarter.
That was a huge play.
That was a huge play, huge momentum shifter, and I was hoping that we, build off of that momentum, that mojo going to the second half. But because unfortunately the fourth quarter kind of hit and we kind of idled down. But I've been preaching 4 quarters, for the last 2 weeks. Even the game we won, 4 quarter against Greenville. We have to play a 4-quarter game. Even Greenville, we didn't play a 4-quarter game.
Right.
Of course, last week we didn't either. So hopefully our 4-quarter game comes this week.
Right. Well, and that's the kinds of things you got to keep working on, and you're glad you have a long season to iron those types of things out and everything.
Exactly.
What about special teams? Did you have anybody on special teams that really stood out this week?
Of course, Nick is gonna, he's the best. I call him the best kicker in football, high school football. He's gonna do what he needs to do to help us win the game, and we had a few miscues on special teams, but other than that, our special teams play wasn't that, good this week. So we're trying to iron those things out, making sure that they're disciplined in all phases. That special teams can make or break you. They can lose a game for you. They can win a game for you.
You're exactly right.
The onside kick that they kicked, we had a kid that went backwards. He's on our hands team, and on the front row in the exact same spot. So me having those guys in front, I felt confident that they, was going to get the ball on the onside kick.
Right.
And I knew it was going to be onside kick, but onside kick personnel, that front line, it's exact same.
Right.
So, but we didn't. We backed away from the ball. The ball went 9 yards. It went 10. The kicker landed on it, and that ended up scoring and winning them the game essentially.
That's right. And as we talked, there's little things like that and it's good that it happens early in the season, because you have time to coach it up. You have time to say, hey, look, remember, onside you got to attack. You can't back up. So hopefully that prepares you for a bigger game down the road. And with your run last year deep in the playoffs, I mean, that could be something that plays a big factor in helping you be better prepared this year for a playoff game, and in a situation where there's a onside kick, he'll be ready for it this time, because he's been in that situation already.
Yep. And I love it. I love it that way. We're a team that we need that type of adversity in order to, right now the win and losses, they matter, but you get hot and get better as the season goes on.
Right.
You know, that's what really matters.
That's right. And it's not how you play early; it's how you play late.
Yeah,
I mean, you can be hot early on and go undefeated, and then or play undefeated and lose a game at the end of the season and hit a low, and then your season's already over there in the playoffs. Because once it gets playoff time, everybody's 0-0 that first round, and then it starts over in a new season.
Yes, sir, it does.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your opponent coming up this weekend. We got Beauregard Hornets. Like I said earlier, they're 3-1 overall and 1-1 in region play. What are you expecting them to do this week?
They're a huge team. They average 300 across the board on the O-line. They have a big back, some tall, long, big receivers. D-line's big, linebackers big, DBs are long, safeties are big. So they're a big team. So of course when you think big, you think physical.
Right.
And that's exactly what they are. They're, ground and pound team offensively, defensively. They want to make sure they're 3 linemen. They're big guys. They want to control the line of scrimmage. So, we're going to try to make sure that we use our strengths to our advantage, which we feel our strengths are. We're fast on the edges. They are as well. So, hopefully we can pull and plug in different spots and nickel and dime them down the field. Hopefully, and defensively, hopefully we can anchor that D line to make sure that we control the line of scrimmage and those linebackers are playing downhill.
Right. And people don't realize how important. To me, a lot of times, or every time, how good your offensive and defensive lines are is what determines a game. Because speed will hurt you, but if it can't get outside, it can't. It can't hurt you. So
707 is just that, 707.
That's
when
right.
those trenches get in there, it's a different ball game.
Well, I know you expect a good game with them, and are there things that you want to build on from last week's game to take care of into this week's game, or anything along those lines that you're focusing on with the players?
Yeah, resiliency. We have to be more resilient. We have to, like I said, the external factors can't control how you play. Control the controllables. We have to learn how to fight through adversity. We have a team that that's a new team, and they have to understand that. They have to understand that they can't live off last year's success. They also have to understand that they have to build their own success. They have to make sure they play a 4-quarter football game. That's the only way we'll be able a chance to win Friday, and that's the only way we'll be able a chance to win in the playoffs. So, resilience is the key factor for this week.
Right.
I try to make practice as hard as possible so that the game can be, it'd be slow for them and be easy for them.
Right.
We try to do it from a coaching standpoint, and hopefully we can show it.
That's right. And they play a lot easier and a lot smoother during the games because they've been in that situation during the week. So. And looking at Beauregard's schedule, they lost to Valley 21-14, but they've beat Selma, Central Hameville, and Tallahassee.
Yeah.
What things do you have to improve on this week to beat a team like Beauregard?
We have to improve on the penalties. We are a heavy penalized team. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Just being honest. But whether they are or aren't, we have to make sure that we don't put a question mark into it.
That's right.
Whether our hands are inside on the hold or whether it's a crack block, when he's coming to you. We coach it up.
That's right.
As such, thumbs up, elbows in, when you grabbing jersey, let it go. Don't go from the side to block a kid. Show your hands before you block. Those type things that we coach up. That we want them to transition into football games. So those penalties, they hurt. They hurt, especially in crucial times in a game. And
that's right.
Like I said, that's what happened in the game. Those crucial penalties in the fourth quarter can really hurt you. If we improve those penalties and make sure that these kids understand the importance of playing the game the right way, playing with integrity, playing with intensity, playing with discipline, we give ourselves a chance.
Well, and like you said, and you got to be able to control the things you can control. And officials are going to be officials. They're humans. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to miss a call here or there. Hopefully it's minimum on most nights, but some nights it can seem like they miss more than what they should. But there again, as a player, as a coach, you can't control that. You just have to go out and play the game and not focus on those types of things and let it affect you as an individual and as a team. Are there any other comments as we close out tonight, or anything else you'd like to comment about?
Just the community. Those boys still need you to show up. So show up in Opelika in big numbers. They need your screams. They need your yells. They need your cowbells. So that support, looking behind, and them knowing that not only mom and dad and aunts there, but friends and family and friends of families and the Trojan community is there as well. It's important for them, and you can tell they play a little bit better and a little bit harder, a little bit stronger when they got those cheers behind them.
That's right. So exactly right.
When the band plays and then when the fans cheer, it's a happy moment for them. So just show up and show out in Opelika for those guys.
I understand. Well, we wish you the best of luck on this Friday night, and we thank you for being on the show tonight. Yes, I want to thank you for what you do. I mean, I know I've coached, and I know how important coaches are in the role that they play for these young men and women. And coaches don't get thanked as much as they should because of the jobs that they do and the time that they spend away for their families and things like that. And what you do and the impression you have on these kids will last for a lifetime for them, not just on Friday nights. It's going to go with them for a lifetime. So, and I just appreciate that, what you do, and all the coaches, your coaching staff. You got a lot of good coaches there.
Definitely.
And, you're only as good as you surround the people you surround yourself with. And, but anyway, like I said, I want to thank you for being on the show tonight.
Yes, sir.
It was good talking with you, and wish you the best of luck Friday night against Beauregard.
We appreciate it. Go Trojans.
I hear you.
Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating with a big 6th anniversary with $6 over invoice. In-stock inventory is only $6 over invoice, and you keep the rebates. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram models are only $6 over invoice. Nobody beats a premier deal. Nobody.
At Max Credit Union, we enjoy more. Serving more. Teaching more. Growing more. Giving more. Supporting more. Sharing more. And more of everything. Max Credit Union is dedicated to connecting with our communities and members, providing all the financial, tools, services, and expertise they need to live their best life, providing more of everything since 1955. Max Credit Union.
So many people have had a great experience here at Gillen Ford, but don't take my word for it.
When I wanted a new Ford Edge, I knew exactly what I was looking for, and Gillen Ford made it happen, all while treating me like family.
I stopped by Gillen Ford looking for a pickup. In a couple of days, they got exactly what I wanted.
Gillen is a place where you want to come and shop. They make you feel like family. The service and the salespeople are amazing.
We've bought, 5 or 10 vehicles from them over the years.
Probably more than that.
Probably more than that. So we're really happy with Gillen Ford.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas.
We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line. 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana, North Carolina, and South Carolina,
Ohio, and Arkansas.
Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Soon I will cover the wiregrass and red tape. That way no one will be able to buy.
Not if the More Force has anything to do with it. More Force, on me.
At MitchellNissan.com, you'll experience the power of more, getting more for your trade-in and saving more time with our fast and easy service.
And everyone gets more with Mitchell Nissan's Customer Advantage package at no extra charge.
My red tape was no match for the power of more.
MitchellNissan.com. More, it's what we do.
Hey Bill, did you stream that finale last night?
Oh yeah.
No spoilers!
Oh, they're vicious.
customer inspired. That's C-Spire.
Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating a big 6th anniversary with $6 over invoice. During Ram Power Days, all new Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500s are only $6 over invoice, and you keep the rebates. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
So many people have had a great experience here at Gillen Ford, but don't take my word for it.
Had a great experience at Gillen. Did most of my shopping online. Great website. Came down here for about 10 minutes, looked at what I wanted to. We were able to fill out paperwork and come back, sign, and drive it away.
I got my Ford Bronco at Gillen's Ford in Ozark. I got a wonderful deal. They're wonderful salespeople. Just come on down and get you one.
You know, they're just like family to us, aren't they?
They are, yes.
Gillen's got it.
School bus transportation plays a critical role in education. This is a reminder for students and parents to keep school bus safety at the forefront to keep our children safe. Make sure children leave home on time so they can arrive at the bus stop before it is due. Wait in a location where the driver can see them while approaching. While seated, your child must take their backpack off and place it in front of them on the floor or in their lap. Young children must have a parent or adult present for the child to be picked up or dropped off. A bus cannot leave or move until the child is 12 feet away. Pike County Schools, excellence in education.
Max Credit Union, we enjoy more. Serving more, teaching more, growing more, giving more, supporting more, sharing more, and more of everything. Max Credit Union is dedicated to connecting with our communities and members, providing all the financial, tools, services, and expertise they need to live their best life, providing more of everything since 1955. Max Credit Union.
At Wiley Sanders Strut Lines, we put God and family first. We've been in business since 1959. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Strut Line, Blue Cross Blue Shield, 401k. Woo! We got the trucks. Come to Wiley Sanders Strut Line. Tell them, boy.
So many people have had a great experience here at Gillen Ford, but don't take my word for it.
Gillen is a place where you want to come and shop.
When I wanted a new Ford Edge, I knew exactly what I was looking for.
Wonderful salesmen. They treat you wonderful here.
Had a great experience at Gillen. Great sales staff. We were able to fill out paperwork, come back, sign, and drive it away.
The service here at Gillen's was outstanding.
They make you feel like family.
And Gillen Ford made it happen, all while treating me like family.
Gillen's got it.
At Bondi's Enterprise Toyota, we want you and your family to be customers for life.
Every new car purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty and lifetime oil changes at no additional cost.
And when it comes to selling your car or trading it in for a newer model, get more with an instant cash offer from Bondi's Enterprise Toyota, the official Kelly Blue Book buying center.
And remember, every new car purchase comes with a free lifetime warranty and lifetime oil changes.
Customers for life only at Bondi's Enterprise Toyota.
Hey, it's Meredith here with Mitch.
All right, welcome back to the Coaches Show. Next coach we have with us with the Luverne Tigers is Coach Ed Rigby. Coach Rigby, welcome to the show.
Good to see you, brother. Hey, it's amazing when you take the two best-looking ball men in the whole county and you put them in one place. And I know that knocked your brother out, but he's just going to have to get over it. He's going to have to get over it.
He might as well get used to it.
He might as well get used to it. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. So, well, you're 4-0 on the season. You had a great start to the season. You played Horseshoe Bend last week. I know they're probably rebuilding the program right now. You won 41-0. You got any comments over the game overall?
Well, the big thing is we got out to a fast start. Anytime you can strike the iron first, they kicked off to us. We start driving the ball, and Mason Miller, our quarterback, had a pass to our tight end. Tight end's always open. Had a pass to our tight end, Dante Smith, and it put us on the board really quick in like 4 plays. And with that being said, our defense played lights out like usual. Didn't give up any points. And, which I guess, what do we got? 3 games where they haven't let anybody score, is that right?
Right, 3 straight
three straight shutouts.
That's
and, when your defense is dialing up those shutouts, and offensively, like I say, it put us in a rhythm. We were able to go after them and put some points on the board really fast, our first few drives. And it was another night offensively where the ball was spread out amongst a lot of people. Mason threw a touchdown pass to Tyler Carter. He threw a touchdown pass to Dante. Mahrez, 4th game in a row, he scored a touchdown. Tavion Ramey, 4th game in a row, he had 2 touchdowns. The other night, 4th game in a row score. So our ball's getting spread around to different people,
right?
And different people are bringing things to the table, which is perfect, and that's what we want. That way we're not that unidimensional. All we got's a back, all we got's a receiver.
That's right.
All we got's this and this. It's being spread around. So offensively, we did a great job, and I'm going to pull up our tackles right here on my phone. That way I don't miss. At least I think I will. I don't leave anybody out, but. Defensively, we had no shutout. Defense was playing lights out. We were led by Mahrez Gross, who also, scored a touchdown in the game, with 7 tackles. Dante, who scored a touchdown in the game, had 6 tackles, and Adrian Foster, who I mention his name every week, who is our ball of lightning, the secondary number 11, he had 6 tackles. And the thing is, we don't start anybody both ways. We've got 22 different starters. But a lot of those guys come over on offense for certain packages and for certain sets,
right?
To use, maximize the talent of our team,
right?
And play to some strengths and that kind of thing. So it was a big night, and the offensive line, Juan Bearden graded our highest again this week. But everybody's slowly getting better. We got 3 seniors up there, and they're creating a lot of that, making it happen. Jordan Jones and Clay Bell, those guys, the seniors, are making it happen. And Nate, our center, did a great job, on the inside. So we're getting better. But it was a great victory, great home victory. We've had a few home games in a row.
Right. That's right.
Had a great crowd, but. That's in the rearview mirror.
That's right.
And I can remember being a little bitty kid and watching the original Cannonball Run. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah.
The original Cannonball Run. So that we're talking, it's early '70s, thing. And I remember one of the groups of people, when they got in their car, he grabbed the rearview mirror and snapped it and threw it out the window. I don't know if you remember that. And his exact quote was, "What's behind us is behind us."
Right.
And we're looking straight forward. We're not looking in the rearview mirror.
Right.
So to look in the rearview mirror at Horseshoe Bend would be a mistake, because Lynette, they didn't play their best against Highland Home. They didn't have their best game. Which Highland Home made a lot of that happen.
Right.
Them not do their best. And there he is right there. And my props out to Coach Pouncey. And they made that happen. But I know that's not Lynette.
Right.
I know that's not the Lynette team. And I've tried to preach that to the kids. That's not the Lynette team that you're going to see on Friday.
Right.
It's not the team.
Right.
They have athletes. They've got 2 or 3 dudes who can take it to the house on anybody. And the bottom line is they are going to give us a ball game. They're going to try to bounce back.
Right.
And the secret is, it gets back to that hope thing I've talked about. You give them hope, we're going to have a ball game.
That's right.
You go out there and you take hope when that thing kicked off, and you let them know that we're here,
right.
and we're going to dominate this game.
Right.
You take hope from them, then it'll become a different game. But if you let them play around, we're going to be in a world of hurt. This is a team that in the last 5 years has won a state championship.
That's right.
I mean, they know how to win. There's winners there.
That's right.
And they're looking for the rebound. And this is a huge game. And the spell that we've had on this all week is win week 11. Now, we're in week 5.
Right.
But this is win week 11 week, because next week is a non-region opponent for everybody unless you're in a 19 district. So it's a non-region opponent next week. The bottom line is we have an opportunity to be 5-0. We have an opportunity to be 3-0 in the region. But this week, forget all that. It's win week 11. Here's why. To win this week, is to win any one of them 4 remaining region games. Win any one of them. And for the 41st year in a row, this team is going to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Win this one is winning week 11.
Right.
Because it gets you one step closer
That's right.
to 41 straight years.
That's right.
And then you win any one of the next 4.
That's
any
right.
one. But it's one at a time. But this one has a meaning. So all of them had a meaning. But this one has a special meaning.
Right.
Win week 11.
That's right.
That's what this is about. So, solid week. I wasn't at practice yesterday. Ran and had a 9-hour surgery yesterday.
Okay.
So I was at UAB, and I got back today about lunch. And the coaches said, hey, we did what we need to do out there. We had some good senior leadership. We moved the ball forward. We moved the program forward, and they moved it forward today. And with that being said, we've got that typical this time of year, beat up little injuries.
Right.
If you're playing ball, you got some issues.
That's right.
And you got issues. So, and the bottom line is, we're fighting that little thing because at our level, the 2A level, it's all about quality depth and having a next guy that's behind them that can hold that rope, keep that rope going, and not have that dip.
Right.
Where you got to try to hide somebody.
Right.
And so we're fighting that battle, but the bottom line is we'll show up with the right people in the right spots on Friday to get it done. And Lynette's going to be our biggest hurdle of the year because they're well coached and they are athletic and they do have something to prove.
And that's Coach Story not there?
Yeah, Coach Story, their new head coach is
Chip Siegel.
Siegel.
Yeah,
Coach
that's
Siegel.
what I thought.
Yeah, it's Coach Siegel.
I didn't realize Coach Story had left.
Yes.
I was thinking he was still there.
He retired at the end of the year, very end of the year.
I know Coach Siegel. He was around in this area for a little while, and a very well guy, good guy, and a
yes,
good coach and everything. But you're exactly right. I mean, you got to get you guys ready. Each week's very important. Like you said, Lynette's got history.
Yes.
So you take them lightly. And I tell you, I had the pleasure of doing the radio against Goshen and Highland Home, and man, y'all are in a tough region.
Well,
I mean, you got an 8-team region, and you probably got 5 or 6 teams that would go to the playoffs in any other region.
You've got at least 4 that. You have 4 that can win 4 or 5 that can win any region, and it's true. It is the SEC of 2A. There's more good teams.
Right.
I mean, I know what's out there in the state. He knows what's out there in the state.
Right.
Not saying there's not quality opponents, but in the North, I'm just going to be real. There's about 2.
Yeah.
They can play that all they want.
There's 5.
Yeah, there's about 2. And in the South beyond here. People play this and it's bulletin board. No, it's what's reality.
Yeah.
There's about 1. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're Highland and Reeltown and these guys are on a different level.
Yeah.
And again, I've seen it, dealt with it, and been blessed to play for it a couple times and win it at this level.
Right.
It's a different level.
Right.
And and that's what we've got to work hard. Because our programs. We got a bar. But there's some things we got to catch up on.
Right.
We're not there.
Right.
We are not there yet. And trust me, the kids will tell you, he reminds us of that every day. And I'm not there yet.
Right.
I throw me in there. I can learn stuff every day, and do learn stuff every day. So, it's going to be a war. I can't wait. Friday can't get here quick enough.
No, I understand.
And it really
they never can.
After Wednesday, we call it put the hay in the barn day. And, Thursday is, polish it up, lift some weights, and that kind of stuff, but it's just to me it's just a spacer for Friday. That's all it is.
So this is your first big road game, right?
Yeah,
Brantley
Brantley doesn't count. It's
right down the road.
Hey, we basically cranked the bus and we were there. Turned it off.
Yeah. And that plays a factor too, Coach. Having to travel almost 2 hours.
Yeah, it's 102 miles
from
school to school.
That's a long ride.
It is, and like I tell the kids, man, this ain't no play trip. It's a business trip.
That's right.
If you think anything else, you better stay here.
That's exactly.
Because this is a business trip. We're going to be quiet on the bus as if we're going to, up the road to Highland Home.
Right.
We're not jabbering and all that. You're going to get locked in and focused.
That's right.
Because we're going for business. We're going to dress for business. We're going to go for business. And then, it's a vacation after that.
Right.
So I'm excited, and it's going to be a war. But hey, man, that's what you want. Iron sharpens iron.
Well, and you commented on one thing I was going to comment about your coaches and you having go with your son yesterday to surgery and stuff. So, being able to leave and go and know your program's in good hands.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And not have to worry about skipping a beat and stuff.
No,
so.
I wouldn't worry in the least little bit. You know, I called in the morning. It was about pressing shirts. Hey, man, try to get those shirts pressed today, because I didn't want to do it. And y'all gotta get them shirts pressed. And then, you know, after practice, you know, I called just one of the guys. Hey, how'd it go? Okay, here's what we did. You know, boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. This was really good. This we need to focus on tomorrow. Get this brushed up. This was really good. We finished really strong on this. Blah, blah, blah. All right, that's great, man. See you in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, and, so, I mean, full confidence. I got a great group of guys. I got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of them. And they really bring a lot to the table to know that you can leave and not have to.
That's right.
I'm just gonna be honest. They're probably better without me. And,
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But,
So you know that's the thing. I was happy with what we did this week.
Well, thank you so much for being on the Coaches Show.
I
with us.
appreciate
it's good
you
to
for
see
having
you again.
me. I appreciate y'all for having
me. Wish you the best of luck Friday night and best of luck on the rest of your season. And like I told Coach Hambright earlier, you know, I want to thank you for what you do for as a coach.
I appreciate it.
The role coaches play in these young people's lives, people don't realize how important y'all are.
It has changed a lot. It has changed a lot.
You know, make a difference on these kids' lives, not just on Friday nights, but for the rest of their life. But thank you for everything you do, and appreciate you coming and being on the Coaches Show.
Thank you so much.
Have
Hey,
a safe.
go Tigers.
I hear you. We'll be right back.
Mitchell, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep. I'm here with our July Jeep Dog of the Month, Rossi. Rossi is here to introduce you to the redesigned 24 model year Wranglers. The new Wrangler is built for those who dream of unbound adventure. Like Rossi, we have over 50 to choose from. Reserve yours today at Mitchell, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep, Enterprise, Alabama. See you soon.
During the Make This a Summer sales event, save up to $5,000 off MSRP on new Jeep models in stock.
It's your last chance to make this the summer event at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Last call on our inventory of new Dodge Chargers. Save up to $6,000 or get up to $5,000 off Jeep Grand Cherokee L models. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
School bus transportation plays a critical role in education. This is a reminder for our community to keep school bus safety at the forefront to keep children safe. As a member of our community, please remember these simple rules. Stop and stay 20 feet back behind the bus. If you are meeting the bus on a 2-lane road, you must stop 20 feet in front of us when the stop sign is out. Please look out for children. If the student must cross the road after getting off the bus, the child must always cross in front of the bus. Pike County Schools. Excellence in education.
Hey, it's Meredith here with Mitchell, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep. I'm here with our July Jeep Dog of the Month, Rossi. Rossi is here to introduce you to the redesigned 24 model year Wranglers. The new Wrangler is built for those who dream of unbound adventure. Like Rossi, we have over 50 to choose from. Reserve yours today at Mitchell, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep, Enterprise, Alabama. See you soon.
Right now, during the Make This a Summer sales event, finance the new 2023 Ram 1500 for just 2.9 APR for 72 months.
At Wiley Sanders Strut Lines, we put God and family first. We've been in business since 1959. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Strut Line, Blue Cross Blue Shield, 401k. Woo! We got the trucks. Come to Wiley Sanders Strut Line. Tell them, boy.
Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating a big 6th anniversary with $6 over invoice. During Ram Power Days, all new Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500s are only $6 over invoice. And you keep the rebates. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Wiley Sanders Strut Line, where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas. We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Strut Line, 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Strut Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana, North Carolina, and South Carolina,
Ohio and Arkansas. Wiley Sanders Strut Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet, Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama. Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new. In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy. So come see us at Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
All right, welcome back to the Coaches Show. I'm Robin Snyder, sitting in for Neil Armstrong, and our next guest with the Highland Home Squadrons is Coach Will Pouncey. Welcome, Coach. We appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
As we were talking in the break, you're 4-0 on the season, but it's early in the season, so I know you're not getting your hopes up too high, but you are proud of your team and your coaches and what y'all have accomplished up to this point. Mm-hmm. This past week, you played Lynette and won 40-14, and Lynette has a history of a good winning program. They won a state championship a couple of years ago. They have changed coaches. Coach Story retired at the end of last year, and they have Coach Chip Siegel there now. So I know that was a change for y'all, but tell us a little bit about last week's game. Comment about some of your players and stuff. And
with Lynette, like I said, we of course played last year, and a couple of years ago we met in the third round of the playoffs with Coach Story. And Coach Story, I don't think he's done for good. Me and him has developed a relationship, and he's got two sons that are playing.
Right.
Well, one at Alabama and one at Clemson. Right. So you know what? If I had two sons playing big time college football, I'd probably take a couple of years off too, and go follow them around and be dad for a couple of years. So I think that's what he's doing. But he handed over to Coach Siegel. Coach Siegel, who was at Goshen at one point.
That's right.
I think with Coach Hams, and me and Coach Siegel, we talk on the phone often, and just getting to really know him over these past few weeks or a couple months, and him talk about how much he loves the Wiregrass. But he says, man, I'm rooted down in Georgia. I'm married. There ain't nothing I can do. I said, well, you better not do nothing.
That's right.
So, but he's a great coach. He's been at Lynette before with Coach Story. Very aware of the program, and I think he was there for those state championships. So he knows what it takes, and we just got out the gate really early on them, and basically took the wind out of their sail quick. We had home field advantage. They had to travel to us. And, we just kind of snowballed them early and just kept executing. We executed well. You could tell the way we prepared all week, and it just rolled over into the ball game.
Well, that makes it big whenever you can do things like that. And you have a special group. Special group of players, special group of coaches. Offensively, comment on some of your players who played good offensively for you.
I can't commend the offensive line enough. Our offensive line has done an outstanding job all year long. Those guys just going from left to right, from left tackle is, Brendan Corbin, who's a first-year starter, to Jaquez Osborne, who's a 10th grader. That's two 10th graders on the left side of my line. Wow. And Jaquez is his second year starting this year. He started last year as a freshman. To Jake Duett, who's a junior, who's our center, and then our two seniors are Jake Duett's brother Lane Duett, and our actually offensive lines coach's son Cooper Peters is Josh Peters' son at the right tackle. So they've just done a tremendous job playing with physical nature and pushing people off the ball and really opening up everything for our skill guys. And we're not lacking at all there. Yeah. With of course Bryce McKenzie and your Austin Critton, Austin Norman, Tyler Cheney, Greg Tate, who's came on the scene, and I didn't even name the two guys who's got offers from everywhere in the nation yeah. with J.J. Falk and C.J. May.
Yeah, and that's a nice problem to have there. And I was impressed. I got to call the Goshen Highland home game a couple of weeks ago, and I was impressed at the numbers you have. Mm-hmm. I know you got a good senior group, but dang, you got 19 juniors,
yes, sir,
and about 10 or 12 sophomores. So. Yep. That's a luxury to have, but
it is.
You play 1 year at a time, and you're working on this year, so I know you. But so talk about defensively. Anybody stand out defensively for you? Who was your leading tacklers or anything along those lines?
We're playing great as a unit. Of course, our leaders there are J.J. Falk and C.J. May, who, like I said, who are getting a lot of college attention, but our inside linebackers, who are also our two running backs, Austin Norman and Austin Crittenden, the Austins. And, of course, we're doing great on the backside in the secondary. Justin Cope and Xavier Burton, who are the two guys who run our defense, two Troy guys who I've got over to Highland Home. So before long they're going to be Highland Home guys. All right, so
they're good guys because I had the opportunity to coach both of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was a privilege, and they are good young men.
Yes, absolutely. And what they do for our young men, and what they bring to our program is very special. So they just do a great job. We just got a great unit over there, and the biggest thing is we got a bunch of guys that just want to get the job done. They take pride in that. They take pride in wanting to put that donut on the board. And like I said, I've told people in the past, on the show that we put a donut on the board Monday morning, Tuesday morning. If I don't get it by Monday, everybody on the team gets donuts. So we go to Krispy Kreme, make that Krispy Kreme run.
I can make that run for you if you need to.
Absolutely.
Those hot and ready is good.
Ain't no doubt. So, but yeah, we really appreciate that, and and the kids just take pride in it, and they want them donuts. So sometimes when I start subbing out in the fourth quarter, get some other kids, some reps, some younger guys, some of our older guys are like, Coach, we got donut. I know what you're doing. I'm like, all right. And sometimes I was like, all right, guys, if they score on our young guys, I'll still get them for you.
Yeah.
So
Well, then. And it's key to hear you say, and Coach Rigby and Coach Hambright both, how you talk about your guys up front. A lot of times those guys get lost in the mix of things and don't get mentioned and get overlooked about a lot of things. But you know, like I do, it's not really one in the backfield. It's one up front between your offensive and your defensive lines. And those guys do deserve the credits that you've given them and these other coaches have given them. What about special teams? Anybody you want to comment on your special teams?
Well, we work it every day. Those guys, they just do a great job of taking pride in that. Like I said, we take a tremendous amount of time out of our practice, out of our preparation to install. Hey, this is another facet of the game. This is the third of the game, and we got a bunch of guys take pride in that. It's not as great as we'd like it to be. It's not a finished product, but it's getting there. I mean, and we got guys that hustle. We don't have guys taking plays off on special teams, which has been the case in the past. But we got a group of kids that, and what we've instilled in them is the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Right. Whether that be how you run down on kickoff team, or how you handle that assignment in science class.
Right.
The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So they take special teams with that same philosophy.
Well, a lot of games are won on special teams. Little bitty plays, an onside kick here or there, or a kick field goal here or there. Those things win ball games. Well, you got Horseshoe Bend this coming week. I know they're winless on the season. They haven't played a game at home yet, so you'll be going there, which is a long ride for you. But and that plays a factor. And I'm sure Horseshoe Bend will be glad to be at home for a change. So you can't take them lightly, even though they're winless on the season. So what are you looking from them to be doing this week?
Well, you never want to take a Friday night for granted. You're only guaranteed so many. I know the records and all the experts and everything points at us to go up there and have an easy win.
Right.
And but we can't listen to that. I mean, Horseshoe Bend, they're going to play smash mouth football. They're going to get up there, they're going to line up, they're going to run the football at us, and they're going to try their hardest. And so I hope we're up to the challenge to meet that expectation. But what we do in Highland Home, what I've tried to instill since I've been there is we got to play to a standard, regardless who it is.
Right.
And I've always told my guys, never take a Friday night for granted, because you never know when your last one is.
Right.
I mean, at any point, there's injuries that could happen on or off the football field. You can step off the bus and break your ankle.
Right.
So you never take a Friday night for granted. You go out there and you give it what you got, regardless of your opponent, what the records say, anything. But you play to a personal pride standpoint and trying to play to that standard, which we've been trying to put at Highland Home.
Right. And that's a good way to put it. To play your kind of ball, to play your style ball, but I do want to thank you for being on the show tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you. I
wish you the best of luck this week and for the rest of your season. I'll be keeping up with you. I know you'll be doing good things, and I want to thank you as a coach for what you do for these young men. That's overlooked by a lot of people, but
Yes,
the
sir.
time y'all spend with them and the impact, like you talked about the donuts, those are good things that they will always look forward to and always remember. But thank you for what you're doing with those young men, and thank you again for being on the show.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, I got an extra headset, so anytime you want to come over, Coach, I got you.
Well, I appreciate it.
I can take some advice.
Oh, well, so. I don't know about that, but I appreciate the offer. I may take you up on it one day.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Well, thank you again. We appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Make this the summer sales event at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with great summer deals like $12,000 off new Ram 1500 Limited Crew Cab models, or save up to $6,000 off on Ram 2500 models. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
School bus transportation plays a critical role in education. This is a reminder for students and parents to keep school bus safety at the forefront to keep our children safe. Make sure children leave home on time so they can arrive at the bus stop before it is due. Wait in a location where the driver can see them while approaching. While seated, your child must take their backpack off and place it in front of them on the floor or in their lap. Young children must have a parent or adult present for the child to be picked up or dropped off. A bus cannot leave or move until the child is 12 feet away. Pike County Schools, excellence in education.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, we put God and family first. We've been in business since 1959. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Blue Cross Blue Shield, 401k. Woo! We got the trucks. Come to Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Tell them, boy.
Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama. In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Hey Bill, did you stream that finale last night?
Oh yeah.
No spoilers!
Oh, they're vicious.
Customer inspired. That's C-Spire.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Show. I'm Robin Snyder sitting in for Neil Armstrong. He had to be out this week. Next on our show, we have Goshen's coach, Coach Don Moore. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Yes,
we
sir,
appreciate you being here.
Thank
yes,
you
sir.
for having me.
You were sitting at 2-2. You've had as we were talking in the break, you've had a tough run right here. You're two of the toughest teams in your region, and I
Yes,
tell
sir.
you, we've talked about this too. This is one of the toughest regions in 1 through 7A, in my opinion, as far as regions go. I mean, y'all got probably 6 teams that could make the playoffs in most regions,
Yes, sir, we do.
and this region could possibly send 4 teams deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, we do, and it is a tough region, and you know it's part of it, and you just gotta go play it.
Well, and it's going to make you better down the road. I mean, when you make the playoffs, you know you're going to have faced tough opponents,
That's
so you
right.
know what you're going to have to do. And I know your guys are getting better. They're young, but they're getting better. You played Reeltown last week, and you had to go up there, which is a big travel week for you, and you lost 43-18. But going into the second quarter, it was 0-0. Right?
It was, yes, sir.
So
It
I
was.
mean, it was anybody's game, and so anything could have happened. But anyway, offensively, talk about some of you guys and what they did offensively, and who you like to comment about.
Our offensive line did a pretty good job. You know, at first we wasn't sure. You know, and when you get to the game, you see a lot of different things, but you go back and watch the film, and they played pretty well. They really did. Jamar McClure played well. You know, those guys look good. You know, with some Eric Andrews also did pretty well. But, you know, offensive line-wise, they're getting better every week, and that's a blessing, you know, to have, you know, to see improvement.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So on offense, those were the keys right there for us.
Well, and that's why you have a long season, and I mean you did have 2 tough opponents right here to start off the season in your region with Highland Home and Reeltown, and I think they probably will be one of your 2 top teams in your
Yes, sir.
region.
I
You
think
know,
so,
and I
too.
know you and Lou Verne and Lynette I know the 4 or 5 of y'all, I think, are going to battle for the playoffs. And I know, Lafayette and Lynette both can. Lafayette's in the region too, right?
Yes, sir.
So I mean, either one of those teams could beat you on any good night, any even night. And you've got Lafayette this week actually, and they're actually 1-3, but they played a pretty tough schedule. And so I know you can't take those teams lightly. What about defensively Friday night? Did you have any guys that stand out in your mind defensively?
Yes, sir. Cody Kilpatrick, one of our defensive linemen, he stood out to us. He was taking on double teams and oftentimes triple teams and holding his ground and doing a really good job in there. And Landon Chandler, one of our inside linebackers, he had 19 tackles.
Oh, wow.
He
That's
did.
Awesome.
He was all over the place.
That's awesome.
He's coming on strong, and I'm looking for big things from him, here on out.
Yeah, and he's in what grade?
He's a junior.
He's a junior.
Yes, sir.
That speaks volume there to have young guys like that, and as I've commented a couple of minutes ago, about doing the radio show for the Highland Home Goshen game 2 weeks ago. I mean, your guys showed a lot of spark. I mean, they were down 21-0 or something at halftime, and came out that third quarter, and I mean, it was a ball game.
It was.
I mean, by the fourth quarter, I mean, Highland Home did go to that double wing offense, and your guys, I don't know if they'd seen it before. That's a lot of eye candy going on back in that backfield.
Yes, sir. It's assignment football, and we didn't quite fit it the way we were supposed
to. And Reeltown went old school on you too, going with the wishbone. I saw them running the wishbone some. I don't know if they ran it the whole time, but
wishbone and I formation, 2 tight eye, and they would send a tackle over at times and overload and stuff like that. So.
And people don't understand how hard those wishbone and the double wing are for people. You got to have your guys have got to be so disciplined to do things there. They've got to play assignment ball. They got to trust each other. They got to do their job.
That's right.
One person doesn't do their job, and there's a big play going to happen.
Exactly right.
And I mean, so. What about special teams? You have anybody you want to comment about on special teams?
Special teams wise, our kicker Zion Picateste did a pretty good job. We had some things that we had to correct and fix. As a unit, as a whole, on some spots. But other than that, our guys, special teams for us is crazy. We hardly ever have the same special teams unit going back-to-back weeks, and Coach Allowine is our special teams coordinator. He does a really good job of handling that and getting our subs in and stuff like that, and making sure those guys behind the starters know what to do, because they're liable to be in the next week. Just based off injuries, we have so many guys that play junior varsity and varsity, and so they kind of get banged up, and we just got to rotate them in, and so they've done as a whole, they've done a pretty good job. There's always room for improvement, and that's what we're working on.
And that's what people don't realize at small schools, how hard it is to coach, because you got to have guys play multiple positions, and not just, well, you're going to play receiver on offense and defensive back on defense. You've also got to have that guy ready to play. Well, if somebody gets hurt, you got to move to running back, or you got to move to quarterback, or you got to move to linebacker. You got to be able to play in multiple positions, and to be able to coach kids up to be prepared for something like that in a game, to have to change from where they're comfortable with. That takes special kids, and these small town teams like that, there's special players in there that can do the things like that, and people don't really see that when you don't see small town ball like this.
Like our quarterback, Jay McNabb, we've tried not to play him on defense a whole lot, because we obviously need him on offense because he's a great player. But he stepped up. We had to put him in last week. He stepped up and did a tremendous job on defense, and he wants to play defense.
Yeah, well,
sometimes it's me. I'm the one that holds it back a little bit, but I'm starting to loosen those reins up a little bit, because we got to have players like that around.
Well, and it's hard as a coach, because you know how important your quarterback is and how much control they have over your offense. Plus, it gives you an opportunity while the defense is out there that you can talk to him and see what's going on and get his feel for what's going on in the huddle and things like that. So, it is important to have him on the sideline with you some, but when you got a good athlete at a small school like that, you need him to be on the field too.
That's it.
It's hard to keep him off the field.
Exactly
and,
right.
And things, but anyway, as we talked about, you got the Lafayette Bulldogs coming up this week, where they are 1-3 in overall and 1-1 in the region. They have played a common opponent with you. They played Reeltown and they lost 41-6, and you Reeltown beat Goshen last week 43-18. So, you know, you definitely got to understand it's going to be a good game, and the kids have got to understand
That's
that.
right.
Of course, it is going to be at home, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
that'll be big to be able
is.
to be at home, and to get another region win would be big here, or get your first region
Yes,
win.
sir.
I'm sorry, that's right. I was looking at Lafayette there, but anyway, so talk about Lafayette and what you think they're going to do to you, and what you got to be prepared for.
We got to be prepared for everything. They run spread, and they jump into I and too tight I, and they'll run the ball at you. So, you know, and they love to go from that to 5 wide. So our guys, and they'll run an overload set as well. So our
Wow.
guys have got to really play assignment football and be aware of what's going on. And you know, they're big up front. They can move people around. So, you know, as far as that goes, we got to go play assignment football, and we got to
Right.
go play our brand of football.
Right.
And we haven't quite done that yet. You know, we got moments where we look,
Right.
you know, we look really good.
Hell yeah, and you did against Highland on that third quarter. I mean,
And you know, then there's other times where we kind of, you know, get down, just like against Reeltown. We cut it 13-6, and then we let them score, and then we come back and score again right before halftime. And then we come out, they get the ball, we stop them 3 and out, we get the ball back, we drive down and score, we're within 8, and then 3 plays later we give up another touchdown.
Right.
So it's,
Right.
you know, those moments are there. We just got to have more of them and be more
Right.
consistent with it.
and get the confidence they need.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, they need a big win. A win always helps with confidence and things like that. So I know you're expecting big things out of them. And so what do you feel like you got to build on for this week to get back on the winning track?
Pretty much playing assignment football. That's kind of what we, you know, in these other games. And here, you know, for our guys, you know, we haven't played in as many big games like that. You know, not with the expectations and all. Last year we were kind of underdog in just about all of our games.
Right.
So this year was a little bit different for us, and you know, the other teams we played, they got a lot of experience doing that. They went to the quarterfinals and Highland went to the semifinals.
That's
so,
right.
you know, they're 2 really good opponents that's
That's
got
right.
a lot of
That's
experience.
right.
And so, you know, we just got to not let those moments get too big for us, and like you said, do your job, play assignment football,
right.
and not try to do too much. That's our
right.
biggest thing.
That's right. And that's what you got to do. You got to rely on each other and
That's
be a
it.
team. Well, Coach, I appreciate you being on the show tonight with us. We wish you the best of luck this week and
Yes,
the
sir. I
rest of your
appreciate it.
week. And as I told the other coaches, thank you so much for
Yes,
what
sir.
you do for these young men. I mean, these people don't realize how much time you coaches put in with these kids.
Yes, sir.
And the impact you have on their lives, not just on Friday nights, but for the rest of their lives. They'll remember you forever.
Yes, sir.
And I want to thank you for the job you do for that, for these young men.
Well, I appreciate
And
it.
thank you again for being on the show with us, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas. We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line. 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana, North Carolina, and South Carolina,
Ohio and Arkansas. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Hello, Wiregrass. Larry Smith with Gillen Chevrolet GMC in Ozark. With new Chevrolet Silverados and new GMC Sierras priced below invoice, why go anywhere else?
Gillen's
got
it.
A lot
of
dealers in the Wiregrass area are running low on inventory. Not at Gillen Chevrolet GMC in Ozark.
Gillen's got it.
Come see the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles in the Wiregrass area at Gillen Chevrolet GMC in Ozark and see why Gillen's got it.
Gillen's got it.
Visit us online at either GillenChevrolet.com or GillenGMC.com.
Gillen's got it.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas. We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line. 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana, North Carolina, and South Carolina,
Ohio, and Arkansas. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Show. Thank you for being here with us tonight. I'm Robin Snyder, sitting in for Neil Armstrong as he had to be away tonight. Our next coach is Coach Mark Herb with the Pike County Bulldogs. Welcome to the show, Coach. Thank you for being here. Yes, sir. You're 2-1 now on the season, 1-1. You've won 2 in a row, and I know that's big. That he can heal a lot of wounds right there in itself, winning a couple of ball games.
Oh yeah, practice is a lot better when you do that.
That's right, and of course the game you lost was only by 1 point, and that's a tough loss against a tough opponent in Strawn. So, but anyway, you played Northside Methodist out of Dothan this past Friday night, and you won 47-0. Talk a little bit about the game and give me some highlights of what happened.
Well, I thought we started fast, which is what we wanted to do. First game we started slow. Second game we came out the box playing very well. And Nemo Williams had some great rushing yards, and Braylon Jackson had a great game catching the ball and extending plays. Quarterback, he only passed like 5 times, but he threw some good strikes.
Right.
So everything was just kind of clicking very well for us, and defensively the guys tackled well, and I just thought we played a pretty good overall game.
Well, that's good. And I had the pleasure of coaching Nemo and Braylon a couple of years ago at Pike Live, and they're good boys, good young men, and they're going to be great athletes on top of that, but they're good young men.
That's correct.
And so, but anyway, well, offensively, who beside Nemo had a good night for you offensively?
Well, our quarterback threw the ball very well. And like I said, Braylon had a big game. Cameron Christian had a collarbone injury early in 7-on-7.
Okay.
Finally came back. And, he caught a pass for about 70 yards. So, we started to find some depth in some places.
Well, that's good. Getting the player back is always a good thing, especially when they can help like that. And your offensive line, I'm obviously playing really good for you too. In order for these guys to have these big offensive production.
They're starting to gel. They're starting to, I like to say, when linemen like each other, they play well. So, they're starting to like each other. And, Coach Suber is back and helping us out on the offensive line this year. And he's been really working with them. And he and Coach Dennison, both together have been doing a great job of working with the guys. And, they're learning some new schemes and they're starting to pick it up. And I think that's really helping us a lot.
Well, we talked about that earlier with some of the other coaches. I mean, how important these offensive and defensive lines are. I mean, you can have the greatest athletes in the world, and if you don't have a good offensive and defensive line to block for them, I mean, it's just like on Saturdays and Sundays, these quarterbacks and these running backs can be as best as they can be, but if you can't block for them, it don't matter how good they are.
Yeah, you definitely have to win in the trenches.
That's right.
I think
that's exactly right.
Like aforementioned Coach Suber and Coach Dennison, and then of course Coach Griffin is the defensive line coach.
Right.
And we're starting to play very well. We have some young guys in some different areas, and we play both ways. But they're practicing hard and they're working hard, and they're starting to mature. Is what I like to say, when they start to understand what you're doing, and they're starting to learn. You're not just playing football; they're learning that you have to prepare a certain
That's
way.
right. That's right.
They're starting to, they're starting to catch on to it.
That's right. And it's big what you said about the offensive line, and it's true about the rest of the team. I know it's very true about the offensive line of gelling together and getting to like each other and getting to work together. And as you said, you have to play some guys both ways, and so there's times you don't get to work with them or talk with them during the game. You have pretty much your week during the week is when you get to coach them. You get to coach them a little bit during the game, but they stay on the field the whole time. You don't get a whole lot of adjustments to make with them.
Well, you better make them fast.
That's right, because you got to get them back out there quickly.
But I thought our receivers blocked really, really well the other night. Khalil Foster in particular, Kiora McKinnon. I thought those guys did a great job of blocking. They played unselfish, and I told them they were like the teammate. They got the teammate award.
Yeah, there you go.
You didn't score the touchdown, but you definitely made it happen. So, I thought they played well by blocking on the perimeter. And in the secondary, Braylon did a good job in the secondary, as well as Cam and Jemias Williams and a couple other guys that, we've been rotating.
Right. Well, and like we said, it's very important how these guys play and how they play together. Special teams wise, is there anybody you need to comment about on special teams?
Well, Braylon, we actually had a safe punt on, and you put your heels on the 10, and the ball was kind of rolling, and he just kind of decided to scoop it up.
Right.
And, he's kind of fast, man. Next thing I know, it's designed where our kids are supposed to run off the field, so nobody just fair catch it, nobody touch the ball.
Right.
They were running off the field and looked back. He picked the ball up, and all I saw them just take off. And once he took off and got close to those guys, he had a convoy going. So he made a big play.
Well, things like that spark a big play or spark a game for you. Gives you a lot of momentum and times like that. Well, this week you got the Op Bobcats coming up. They're 1-3 on the season and 1-1 in the region. This will be another big region game for you. So this will be number 3 in a region game. So you can go 2-1 right here this week. Now, Op and Pike County always have a good rivalry. So tell us a little bit about Op and what you think and expect from them to do this week.
Well, they have a big quarterback who likes to run, and they're basically in 20 personnel, 2 back sets. They like to run downhill. They will throw it, but they're probably about, I'm gonna say 68, maybe 70% pass.
Right.
Run. Sorry. Yeah. But they will throw it. Have a big receiver. A couple of skilled guys that I think are pretty good guys. The running back's good, and like I said, power downhill. It's going to be a physical game.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to prepare for.
Well, and they've played a lot of close games. They played Andalusia to open the season up, and of course Andalusia's good. They're the defending 4A state champions, so they beat 42-8. But the next 3 games with New Broughton they lost 19-14. They beat Northside 19-7, and then they beat Providence or lost to Providence 10-6. So I mean they were in all 3 of those games. And they did win one, but that says a lot. And of course, y'all do have a common opponent in Northside. And of course, as you and I both know as coaches, even though you beat Northside 47-0, and Op only beat them 19-7, you can't take them lightly. You got to take them the same, as you would.
They actually played on the road, and a lot of things can happen on the road.
You're right.
They did win a road game. And they'll be at home, so
that's right.
That's an advantage they'll have.
That's right. Home field advantage is always nice to have.
Right. Well, I mean, I expect this to be a tough game, a physical game. I mean, you just can't overlook. You can if you look at scores and try to judge a game, you're definitely in trouble.
If you try to play it on this piece of paper, you're not going to win as many games as you will.
You have to prepare for it.
That's right.
I think they're pretty solid in what they're doing. They have a new coaching staff. And I think they're still trying to gel a little bit, kind of find their identity in certain things.
That's right. That's right.
Defensively, I didn't watch a whole lot of defense, but they are playing very well because they're not giving up many points.
That's right. That's right.
And in preparing the defense for our defense, for their offense, I think they're good at what they do. And I think, like I said, it's a new offense. It's a new coach, and what they do well. I just think they're going to do more off of it.
Right.
And I expect that. You're going into the fourth game, you'll do more of what you normally do.
Well, and as your guys are growing together, his guys are going to be growing together as well. And like you said, having a new coaching staff, sometimes it's just getting to understand how a coach is going to call certain things in certain situations, and the players to get comfortable with that. And their coach is Matt Brunson, is that right? And that's like you said, this is his first year. Well, do you have any other comments or anybody you want to talk about before we leave the show tonight? Or
well, I mean, I just think in order for us to win, we are definitely going to have to not turn the ball over. We're going to have to tackle well. Cut down on some penalties. We haven't had a whole lot of penalties. Not as many, but it's just way too many.
Yeah.
If we can, play with a little more discipline in those areas.
Well, sometimes one penalty is way too many. Because it may be at the most keen time during the game. So,
and I think it's just anticipating, and sometimes the young kids, when you put in, they get a few reps, and they,
that's right.
So eager to play, and they jump off sides, and just little minimal mistakes. But definitely we do that, and we play well on special teams. I think we'll do well, but we definitely have to make sure we execute.
Wow. And like I said, Pike County and Opp have a big history and big rivalry there, so that's always a big time. And I know Opp will be up for it, and I know your guys will be up for it, and I know you'll have them ready. And we want to thank you for being on the show tonight, and appreciate everything you do. And we wish you the best of luck Friday night against Opp, as well as with your whole season. And as I've told the other coaches, thank you so much for what you do with these young men. What the impact you have on their lives are going to be more than just on a Friday night. It's going to be for the rest of their lives. And what y'all as coaches do is very important. And I appreciate what y'all do. And thank you again for being on the show with us.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas. We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line. 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana, North Carolina, and South Carolina,
Ohio, and Arkansas. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Hello Wiregrass, Larry Smith with Gillen Chevrolet GMC in Ozark. With new Chevrolet Silverados and new GMC Sierras priced below invoice, why go anywhere else?
Gillen's
A
got
lot
it.
of dealers in the Wiregrass area are running low on inventory. Not at Gillen Chevrolet GMC in Ozark.
Gillen's got it.
Come see the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles in the Wiregrass area at Gillen Chevrolet GMC in Ozark and see why Gillen's got it.
Gillen's got it.
Visit us online at either GillenChevrolet.com or GillenGMC.com.
Gillen's got it.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas. We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line. 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana, North Carolina, and South Carolina,
Ohio, and Arkansas. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Rawsome, someone has been putting prices in the red zone.
Looks like Blitz and Scramble are up to their old tricks. More force. Right.
At MitchellNissan.com, you can juke all the waiting games and pick the model, trim, and accessories you want from anywhere.
And you'll score extra points with our Customer Advantage package at no extra charge. That powers you to more savings.
Now that's what I call zone coverage. MitchellNissan.com. More, it's what we do.
Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating a big 6th anniversary with $6 over invoice. During Ram Power Days, all new Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500s are only $6 over invoice, and you keep the rebates. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Hey Bill, did you stream that finale last night?
Oh yeah.
No spoilers!
Oh, they're vicious. Customer inspired. That's C-Spire.
Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating with a big 6th anniversary with $6 over invoice. In stock inventory is only $6 over invoice, and you keep the rebates. Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram models are only $6 over invoice. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
At Max Credit Union, we enjoy more. Serving more. Teaching more. Growing more. Giving more. Supporting more. Sharing more. And more of everything. Max Credit Union is dedicated to connecting with our communities and members, providing all the financial, tools, services, and expertise they need to live their best life, providing more of everything since 1955. Max Credit Union.
So many people have had a great experience here at Gillen Ford, but don't take my word for it.
When I wanted a new Ford Edge, I knew exactly what I was looking for, and Gillen Ford made it happen, all while treating me like family.
I stopped by Gillen Ford looking for a pickup. In a couple of days, they got exactly what I wanted.
Gillen is a place where you want to come and shop. They make you feel like family. The service and the salespeople are amazing.
We've bought, I guess, 5 or 10 vehicles from them over the years.
Probably more than that.
Probably more than that. So we're really happy with Gillen Ford.
Wiley Sanders Strut Line, where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas. We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Strut Line. 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Strut Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana, North Carolina, and South Carolina,
Ohio and Arkansas. Wiley Sanders Strut Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Soon I will cover the wiregrass and red tape. That way no one will be able to buy.
Not if the More Force has anything to do with it. More Force, on me.
At MitchellNissan.com, you'll experience the power of more, getting more for your trade-in and saving more time with our fast and easy service.
And everyone gets more with Mitchell Nissan's Customer Advantage package at no extra charge.
My red tape was no match for the power of more.
MitchellNissan.com. More, it's what we do.
Hey Bill, did you stream that finale last night?
Oh yeah.
No spoilers!
Oh, they're vicious. Customer inspired. That's C-Spire.
All right, welcome back to the Coaches Show. Our next coach is Coach Cody King with Zion Chapel High School, the Rebels down the road here in Jack, Alabama. Coach King, welcome to the show. I know you couldn't be here in person, but we have you on the phone here, and we appreciate you being with us tonight.
Yes.
We had you had a big win last Friday night, 22-20 over the Sampson Tigers. That was a big win for you.
We did, and it's good for our program. It's the first time we beat Sampson back-to-back seasons since the 84, 85 years, and which is good for us. And we've still got a long ways to go as a football team. We didn't play well in certain aspects of the game. We're very fortunate to get the win, but we're very pleased to get the win because it's never easy to win high school football games.
That's right, Coach, and a win's a win. You're taking an ugly win just like you will a good win, but you do wish it would be a lot easier because it makes it our jobs a lot easier whenever they're a little closer than a 2-point ball game. A 2 touchdowns ball game's a lot better than a 2-point game. So,
no doubt.
But and that is big for Zion Chapel to beat Sampson 2 years in a row. I didn't realize it had been that long since they'd beaten them back-to-back years like that. That's big, and plus it was homecoming. So winning homecoming is always a good thing.
Yes, sir. And we've won homecoming 2 years in a row. So we've done some things out here that hadn't been done in a while, but we were fortunate enough to be handed a program, that was in good shape 2 years ago when we got here, as far as, everything was positive and financially, and Coach Bryant's a good friend of mine, so I know he did things the right way as far as, he had good kids in the program.
Well, that's right, and that makes your job easy when you have good kids and good families that are part of your team and your community, and you got a good administrative staff there, like you said. Coach Bryant's still around, and so that makes a big difference in everything that you do, and makes your job as a coach easier as well. Well, Coach, tell us offensively some guys that did really well for you that you'd like to talk about and mention them, and just tell us about the offensive side of the ball and what you were pleased about from the game Friday night.
Well, offensively, our quarterback, who we were proud to get back from injury, but he's done a good job for us. He's making some good decisions, and he has some different decisions he can make, on each and every play to get us in a better situation. But he rushed for 174 on 27 carries and was very productive in the pass game, over 100 yards, right around 60%. Threw a touchdown pass and ran for a touchdown as well. A little fullback we got that he's a first-year player for us, and he's a little terror. I tell you what, I can't wait till we get some weight on him, and he's already getting stronger in the weight room. He rushed for a touchdown. Along with that, and we've had a lot of guys making some plays. We had a tight end. He came in from Virginia this year. We're very fortunate to get a move in. Who caught a touchdown pass, and Michael Fuller, JoJo Laguerre, and those guys have been making plays in the box and on the perimeter for us this year. So we've been fortunate. We hadn't scored as well as we'd like to in the red zone, and so that's something we got to remedy. But as far as just offensively, the offensive line is as strong as they've been, and as well coached as they've been in a while. And I was disappointed in the way they played as a unit, but individually at times they were very solid. But as a unit, we were not very good Friday night, and I was disappointed in that. And then, just offensively, I'm just proud of the progress we've made. Hopefully we can continue to make that progress and just gel as a unit, because it takes all 11. We're not going to out-athlete anybody at times, but if everybody will do their jobs, with great discipline.
That's right.
And we handle those things, then we always have an opportunity to be successful.
That's right, and that's what's so important about football. It is such a team sport that you do have to have everybody play their position and do their job, and if they try to do somebody else's job, then it's going to open up something for the other team that you don't want to. And so, and as you mentioned, getting your quarterback back, that makes a big difference. And we talked about this earlier with one of the other coaches in this small school balls. He's playing football with 1A and 2A and 3A teams that you have to use so many guys, so many different positions. And just like you using your quarterback, it changes up probably just about a fourth of your offensive and defensive strategies there, because you got to change take a receiver and move him to quarterback, or a running back and moving him to quarterback, and then you got to move somebody in his position. So you got a lot of moving parts there. So it does throw things out of kink there for you that a lot of people don't realize and understand. What you have to do as a coach whenever you just lose one player. People think, well, that's just one player. It's easy to feel, but in small school ball, it's like losing 3 or 4 players when you lose one.
It really is. It really is.
And so, well, what about defensively? Did you have any guys that stood out in your mind defensively, made some good defensive plays? I mean, in a tight ball game like you had, I'm sure you had some people make some key stops at key times.
Yes. So there were 3 players, and between the 3 of them, I mean, they had 32 of our tackles. So Braden Bimbo plays linebacker for us. He's sophomore, does a really good job. He had 11 the other night. Defensive end Jackson Dowdy, who's coming into his own as a player, had 11, and then our safety had 10. And the best thing about those 3 guys is, they chase the ball, and so. When you get all 11 guys chasing the ball, good things happen. I know you know that from your history, and your past as a coach, and we're getting good production out of a young defense. I think right now we're starting 2 guys that are seniors on defense, and so we're actually fairly young, but the guys are flying around, and the weight room showing up. And that's the biggest thing, and for us, we have to do those things. We have to be physically tough, with great effort, great intensity, and those things are built in the weight room. You learn how to fail in the weight room, but you learn how to succeed in the weight room, and you breed some confidence and physicality in the weight room. And so that's what we do in the off season. That's what we do in season, and so that's something that is very valuable to us.
Yeah, that weight room plays a big role in things. Well, Coach, we sure do appreciate you being with us tonight on the show, and we wish you the best of luck. And just before we go, you do have a tough opponent coming up this Friday night. You got Ayrton, and they are 1-3 on the season, but they've played a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, don't let that fool you.
So,
just fool everybody.
But
they're still phenomenally athletic and big up front. Their quarterback and the guys they got on the perimeter are really something else. Especially the kid that's been playing at quarterback, Ian Finn,
right.
His brother are both phenomenal athletes.
Right, they sure are. And so I know you'll have your hands full, but I know you'll have your guys ready, and y'all play a great game as always. And again, thank you for being on the show with us, and best of luck to you this week against Ayrton and on the rest of your season. And I want to thank you for what you do for these young people, and coaches play such an important role in these young people's lives, and what y'all do as coaches on an everyday basis will impact them more than just on Friday nights. It'll impact them for the rest of their lives, and what you do for them. I just want to tell you to thank you for what you do, and your coaches as well, and we appreciate you being on the show with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Good luck, and we'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating a Big 6th anniversary with $6 over invoice. During Ram Power Days, all new Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500s are only $6 over invoice, and you keep the rebates. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
So many people have had a great experience here at Gillen Ford, but don't take my word for it.
Had a great experience at Gillen. Did most of my shopping online. Great website. Came down here for about 10 minutes, looked at what I wanted to. We were able to fill out paperwork and come back, sign, and drive it away.
I got my Ford Bronco at Gillen's Ford in Ozark. I got a wonderful deal. They're wonderful salespeople. Just come on down and get you one.
They're just like family to us, aren't they?
They are, yes.
Gillen's got it.
School bus transportation plays a critical role in education. This is a reminder for students and parents to keep school bus safety at the forefront to keep our children safe. Make sure children leave home on time so they can arrive at the bus stop before it is due. Wait in a location where the driver can see them while approaching. While seated, your child must take their backpack off and place it in front of them on the floor or in their lap. Young children must have a parent or adult present for the child to be picked up or dropped off. A bus cannot leave or move until the child is 12 feet away. Pike County Schools, excellence in education.
All right, welcome back to the Coaches Show. I'm Robin Snyder. I'm sitting in for Neil Armstrong. Next up we have is the Carroll High Eagles, and we have Coach Jamel Bell with us tonight, sitting in for Coach Plott. Coach Bell, welcome to the show.
Thank you
for being here. Yes, sir.
No problem.
Wow, what a big win for y'all this past Friday night. I mean, a heartbeat, close game there, 34-24, and it's always that way with Charles Anderson and Carroll get together. They always play really good games. But yeah, that was a big win for y'all. Y'all are 3-1 on the season and 2-0 in the region, and your upcoming opponent, we'll talk about them in a few minutes, but is not an in-state opponent, it's an out-of-state opponent in Navarre High School. Well, Coach, let's start off by telling us a little bit about giving us some key points and highlights from the game Friday night. Tell us some things about what you...
First off, it was definitely a big win for the program. Man, I couldn't be more proud of the kids. I know Coach Plott is very proud of the kids, and the community is proud as well. They executed. They did what we asked them to do. We put together what I thought was a good game plan, great game plan at the end of the day. Obviously everyone knows Boyd is their number one guy, and of course they got other guys that are key players. But our biggest thing going in the game was to slow down Boyd as much as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard to do. That's hard to do, and I mean, he's a great player. And so that was really the main thing, and we had to stop the run. They have a nice running back. I mean, good running back. I mean, he broke, but about 6 or 7 yards on the second play of the game. So I mean, that tells you how well they are, how good they are, how well coached they are as well. But our biggest thing that we taught the kids is a 4-quarter game.
That's right.
It's a 4-quarter game. I mean, we went down at half, 21-7. We threw a pick six right there at the end. We could have hung our heads.
That's right.
That's exactly
right.
We could have hung our heads and came back out being defeated. But we preach on 4-quarter, got to handle adversity, and the kids did that. We got some things to bounce our way in the second half, and we continue playing football and put yourself in a good position.
That's right.
And our key players made some big plays at the right moment.
Well, and that's what you need, and in tight games like that, you count on your key players making key plays for you, and as you said, you make those key plays at key moments that spark you, and as you said, for your guys to go in the locker room at halftime down 21-7, and to have it's pretty much the end on a 110-yard interception return that you were driving down about to score to tie the game actually, and it turned around to go against you. So your guys could have easily got their heads down and quit on you, but it seems like they got a little bit of fight about them, and even though you play year from year, and last year's over and you got this year, but for Carroll that's got to be a big momentum thing for those guys to know that, hey, we just beat the state runners-up from last year, and probably will make a big run into the playoffs just like y'all will, and you'll probably actually see them again in the playoffs. I mean, so well, what about defensively? Tell me some guys that played well for you.
Defensively, Q Lightner, he stepped up big. He actually got the interception that sealed the deal for about 60 yards, pick six, and I mean, he broke on the ball like he was the receiver. That young kid has a knack for the ball. Him also, DeMarie Carter, he played lights out as well, and our defensive end who anchors down on the D line, Justin Snell.
Yeah.
Those guys play hard. I can't say a whole lot about them. And Lakeith Pearson, he had the matchup of the night, having the cover board, and he did a really, really good job Friday night, and he did what we asked him to do, and they stuck to the game plan. Those guys did what we asked them to do, and those are our key players, and the key players stepped up big time. So So,
and it does take a team, and I know, like you said, though, you and I've been in your shoes before too, where you sort of hesitant to name somebody because you're afraid you're going to leave somebody out. On a big win like that, it takes the whole team, and I know your offensive and your defensive lines played really well to put up 34 points against a good Charles Henderson defense. I mean, that speaks volumes, and of course now, like we talked about, this next week you got Navarre High School coming up out of Florida, and we were talking about it in between the break. We think they're probably a 4 or 5A school in Florida, which is still bigger than most 4 and 5A schools. Most times those are, if it's 4A in Florida, it's like being 5A in Alabama.
Yes, sir.
And 5A in Alabama is like being 6A or 7A in Florida. They just have a lot more students in their schools than what we do up in here. So, and I know you said you don't know a lot about them, but as we talked earlier with one of the other coaches, sometimes you don't worry about the other team as much as you worry about yourself.
That's right.
And I know one thing y'all probably talked about is not coming down or not stay on that high that you had against Charles Henderson, but don't let it affect this game. Realize it's not going to win this game just because you beat Charles Henderson. You got to go out and win this next game as well. So I know y'all have been talking to him about that. What things have you got to improve on this week to help you with a quality opponent like Navarre?
Just improve on the fundamentals. Defensively tackling, reading our keys, lining up, offensively blocking, running the ball, catching the ball, being consistent on those fundamentals. We're going to continue to improve. We continue to improve those things that'll get us further on down the road, because at the end of the day, those are the things that show up at the end of the day. And one of the biggest things just coming from Friday to next week, defensively, we got to tackle better. I mean, we got to wrap up and make sure we do what we need to do, game tackle everything we can possibly to not give up those long runs and big plays. Offensively, same thing. Make sure we protect the quarterback, make holes for the running back. And as far as Navarre, they're a well-coached team. Just looking at them, man, they're really solid. They're very well coached, and we have our hands full on Friday. But the great thing about it, you have a big win. Hopefully, there's be some type of momentum.
That's right.
Going forward,
That's right.
And it seems that the kids at practicing, they really, they're kind of buying in a little more, and things are going well now.
Yeah. A win like that will get you confidence.
Yes, the guys are very, very confident. So, I think Friday's going to be more about us. How well can we play versus them? Not knowing anything about them as far as like we know Charles Henderson, we know you followers and things like that because we play them year in.
And you always want to win.
Yes.
But sometimes winning isn't on the scoreboard.
Yes.
And against a team like a Navarre coming in, if you get better and you execute things that you didn't execute against Charles Henderson that you saw that you need to improve on, but you improve on them against Navarre, then that's going to be a win for you regardless of who comes out on the scoreboard. So I know as coaching staff, that's going to be things you're going to be looking for is getting those guys ready, because then after Navarre you have an open week, which will be very helpful to before you start a stretch into the end of your season, when then you finish up the season with Eufaula and then go on the road with Headland and Greenville, and then you play 2 non-region games to finish out the season against Valley and St. James. And both of those are quality opponents, and Valley's actually a 5A team too, so that could be a team you see later on down the road too, because I know they're in the same region that Beauregard is, which is who Charles Henderson plays Friday night. So, and they played a tight game already this season. But Coach Bell, I appreciate you being on the show with us. Thank you for coming up, and I wish y'all the best of luck Friday night against Navarre, and I also wish you the best of luck on the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And thank you for everything you do for these young men. A lot of people don't realize the amount of time that y'all put into these guys and the effect that you have on them, not just on Friday nights, but the rest of their lives. they'll remember y'all for a long time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But thank you again for being on the show with us, and we'll be right back after these messages.
So many people have had a great experience here at Gillen Ford. But don't take my word for it.
Had a great experience at Gillen. Did most of my shopping online. Great website. Came down here for about 10 minutes, looked at what I wanted to. We were able to fill out paperwork and come back, sign, and drive it away.
I got my Ford Bronco at Gillen's Ford in Ozark. I got a wonderful deal. They're wonderful salespeople. Just come on down and get you one.
You know, they're just like family to us, aren't they?
They are, yes.
Gillen's got it.
School bus transportation plays a critical role in education. This is a reminder for students and parents to keep school bus safety at the forefront to keep our children safe. Make sure children leave home on time so they can arrive at the bus stop before it is due. Wait in a location where the driver can see them while approaching. While seated, your child must take their backpack off and place it in front of them on the floor or in their lap. Young children must have a parent or adult present for the child to be picked up or dropped off. A bus cannot leave or move until the child is 12 feet away. Pike County Schools, excellence in education.
Max Credit Union, we enjoy more. Serving more, teaching more, growing more, giving more, supporting more, sharing more, and more of everything. Max Credit Union is dedicated to connecting with our communities and members, providing all the financial, tools, services, and expertise they need to live their best life, providing more of everything since 1955. Max Credit Union.
At Wiley Sanders Strut Lines, we put God and family first. We've been in business since 1959. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Strut Line, Blue Cross Blue Shield, 401k. Woo! We got the trucks. Come to Wiley Sanders Strut Line. Tell them, boy.
So many people have had a great experience here at Gillen Ford. But don't take my word for it.
Gillen is a place where you want to come and shop. When I wanted a new Ford Edge, I knew exactly what I was looking for.
Wonderful salesmen. They treat you wonderful here.
Had a great experience at Gillen. Great sales staff. We were able to fill out paperwork, come back, sign, and drive it away.
The service here at Gillen's was outstanding.
They make you feel like family. And Gillen Ford made it happen, all while treating me like family.
Gillen's got it.
At Bondi's Enterprise Toyota, we want you and your family to be customers for life.
Every new car purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty and lifetime oil changes at no additional cost.
And when it comes to selling your car or trading it in for a newer model, get more with an instant cash offer from Bondi's Enterprise Toyota, the official Kelly Blue Book Buying Center.
And remember, every new car purchase comes with a free lifetime warranty and lifetime oil changes.
Customers for life only at Bondi's Enterprise Toyota.
Hey, it's Meredith here with Mitchell, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep. I'm here with our July Jeep Dog of the Month, Rossi. Rossi is here to introduce you to the redesigned 24 model year Wranglers. The new Wrangler is built for those who dream of unbound adventure, like Rossi. We have over 50 to choose from. Reserve yours today at Mitchell, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep, Enterprise, Alabama. See you soon.
During the Make This a Summer sales event, save up to $5,000 off MSRP on new Jeep models in stock.
No. All right, welcome back to the show. We have G.W. Long and Coach David Watts with us tonight for our last guest of the show tonight. Coach Watts, we welcome you to the show. We thank you for being here with us. You're 2-1 on the season now and 2-0 in the region. And wow, what a game you had Friday night! You played your big rival across the road over there in Ayrton. So tell us a little bit about the game Friday night and give us some highlights and tell us about some of your key players.
All right. Well, it was a heck of a high school football game for sure. two pretty evenly matched football teams. We got down in the ball game early, 21-7. They actually scored on the first three possessions that they had it, and we scored on the very first play from scrimmage and tied it at 7. And then our second possession, we fumbled one and gave it back to them, and then we traded a few turnovers after we scored that second one. So we went in at halftime. I think scored 21-13. Came out in the second half, and we had done the best we could to make a few adjustments in at halftime. But the biggest thing was that I think our kids just kind of grew up at halftime and decided that we've got a lot of youth on our football team, a lot of young guys, a lot of kids that are playing as starters for the first time, and I think a lot of them grew up at half and just kind of decided that they wanted to win that football game, and we had a really good second half. I think we ran 32 plays on offense, and they only ran 13.
Wow.
Limited them to one snap in the fourth quarter, which it was a touchdown. They scored their touchdown in that one play they got in the fourth. But, our quarterback, Bryson Hughes, had a huge game. I think he was 13 of 17 passing for 195 yards. But the big one was he ran the ball 35 times.
Oh, wow.
I think the final total on that was he had 291, 292, something like that, yards rushing. So he had a huge night.
So he had almost 400 yards total offense in. Yeah. You said he had 195 yards passing?
He had almost 500 yards of offense by himself.
Wow. Wow, that's great. Well, and you said that Ayrton scored on their first three possessions of the game. So, and the final score was 20. They had 27 points. So, after the first three drives, y'all pretty much shut them down except for that one play in the fourth quarter. So that's a big defensive.
Much better second half defensively now. Like I said, I don't know that we shut them down. We limited their snaps. That helped a tremendous amount. Us being able to possess the ball. They've got some really good football players over there. One of them in particular, Ian Sin,
yeah.
tough son of a gun to tackle. And they made some changes. They put him at quarterback for the most part in the football game, but she's been playing a lot of receiver. And when they got under center, they did some stuff there, and they brought his younger brother in to play quarterback to put him at tailback. And he presented us with a lot of issues. Just getting him down in space is so difficult. But we did a lot better job in the second half. But like I said, a lot of that had to do with the fact that we just possessed the football and kept it away from them.
Well, and a lot of people don't realize sometimes a good defense is a good offense. I mean, when you can get long drives and keep the other team's offense off the field, that serves as good of a defense as just having your defense on the field and shutting the offense down. I mean,
it does. We had several long drives. We had one 13-play drive in the second half that went 99 yards.
Wow.
And several other long possessions. And so, that was a huge factor in the game, us being able to keep it away from them a little bit, because they do have some weapons.
Yeah, they always have some weapons at Ayrton. They sure do, and they always are well coached. So Coach Gilcrease does a good job with them and everything. And so, I know you talked about your offense, and what about defensively? Who did you have stand out for you defensively?
Well, we had several guys I thought did a good job. Our two guys on the inside at linebacker both did a real good job. Landon Gross had several tackles in the game. Blaine Wood, the 10th grader, plays inside for us, and he's a solid guy. He's always where he's supposed to be. He's a good tackler. Very seldom does he get to the ball that he doesn't get it down. Braden Whitehead and Bryson Hughes, both back there at safety, were big for us in the football game. And then we had a big interception in the game too. We turned it right back over to them, but that was at a point where they had already scored 21 when we had that interception, and that was Cam Richards. Had a really good play on it, had a chance to get it back. He's a good athlete and almost returned it. So those are some of the guys that stood out.
Well, those are good plays when you can stop a drive with a turnover or something like that to spark you. And I mean, I know you said you turned it right back over to them, but it changed the momentum of the game there for a second and sort of broke up their drives for them and all. What about special teams wise? Did you have anybody special teams wise do anything you'd like to mention on that?
Well, luckily, we didn't have to do a ton. We had some good returns set up in the kicking game. Unfortunately, we had too many kick returns, but we got a few good returns there. We didn't have to punt. That was huge. You know, if there's a highlight in the special teams, I think that was it. That we did not have to line our punt team up the other night.
Yeah.
So that was real big for us.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot tonight about, you know, these small schools and how much coaching you have to do, and you know, sometimes you don't get to spend as much time on special teams as you would like, and you get a little nervous sometimes when you have to put a special teams group out there that maybe you haven't spent as much time, or you don't have as good of a long snapper as you need. I mean, snapping the ball 15 yards, everybody thinks that's easy, but it takes special kids to do things like that, and then a punter to punt the ball. And so, I mean, to execute on special teams is a lot harder than what people think it is. So you're right. I mean,
those snaps are always hairy. When I was in high school, I played quarterback and I snapped on the punts. And the only time that my mom ever turned her eyes away from the ball game was when I was snapping on the punts. She was always so nervous when I had to do that.
Yeah, it's hard. People don't realize when you're throwing it between your legs, basically, and you can't look back there at them, and you never know. You get it a little high, and it goes a little high from you, but it's maybe 10 feet over his head. You know, you go a little low, and it bounces to him. So, yeah, it can be nerve-wracking for our parents and our moms, especially in situations like that. So, well, Coach, you got Geneva County coming up this week, and you'll be at home. No, you'll be on the road at Geneva County, and Coach Josh Thompson is coaching there, and they're 0-3 on the season. They're 0-2, which you know, traditionally Geneva County's had some good teams, but you can't ever take them lightly, in other words, because they probably got athletes.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And they've had a couple guys that have been out. Their quarterback and running back has been injured and has not been able to play very much this year. You know, and so we're not sure what the status of those guys will be, but, you know, they have a chance to make a huge impact on their football team. But, you know, they're a well-coached football team, and they do have some players. You know, our region is very evenly matched, and I don't think there's a lot of difference in several of the teams in our region. You know, I think there's going to be several games, and I've told our kids this repeatedly. The margins are very thin for us this season. You know, there's not going to be a lot of ball games that we're going to be able, or there's not going to be any ball games that we're going to be able to walk out on the field, and we just have better athletes, and we're going to win the game because of that. You know, we're going to have to do things the right way.
Right. Well, and you know, and we talked about this earlier too. With, like I said, we've had Highland Home, we've had Luverne, we've had Goshen, we've had Zion Chapel, we've had EU, and the majority of the coaches we have on this show are with small schools. And you know, now you do have Charles Henderson and Carroll that have been on, and they're bigger schools. But what people don't realize is when you lose, like you said, Geneva County's without their quarterback and their running back. Well, that's like losing 3 or 4 players for them, or 6 players, because each one of them probably plays offense, they probably play defense, and they probably play a big role in their special teams. So, you know, that's 3 players in one right there. So that's like 6 players you lose by just losing 2 players. Yeah, so, you know, and getting players like that back, I mean, like you said, if they got them back this week, you never know how that could change their team dynamically and everything. So, you know, getting players back like that could be good for Coach Thompson and them, and could be dangerous for y'all. So, you know.
Absolutely. We went over a couple of years ago in the JV game, and the kid that is there starting tailback now, he didn't touch the ball but 5 times against us in that JV game. He scored 4 touchdowns. So we know what kind of player he is.
So he's a pretty electric player then. Yeah.
He is. Absolutely.
Well, I hope he gets better for Geneva's county's account, because you don't ever want to see a team or a kid, have to miss the majority of their season. So hopefully he'll get better, and same with the quarterback. But well, Coach, do you have any other comments you'd like to make before we close out tonight?
No, just thank you guys for having me.
Well, and we appreciate you being on the show with us, and we wish you the best of luck Friday night against Geneva County, as well with the rest of your season. And I also want to thank you for all that you do for those young men and women at GW Long, because people don't realize how important of a role that coaches play in these young people's lives, and the amount of time you spend with them, and the impact you have on them, and you and all your coaches, not just you, but the positive attitude you show to them, and how you handle adverse situations and things like that, and the way you treat them on a daily basis. Those things will impact them not just on Friday nights, but it'll impact them for the rest of their lives. So thank you for the role that you play in these young men and women's lives. And I know you're a great guy and a great person, and I wish y'all the best of luck on the field.
Thank you very much.
Well, you have a good night, and we'll talk with you soon.
All right.
Well, that brings our show to an end for tonight. We appreciate you being with us tonight, and we appreciate all the coaches being with us, and we wish them all the best of luck. And until next week, for tonight, good night.
It's your last chance to make this the summer event at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Last call on our inventory of new Dodge Chargers. Save up to $6,000. Or